Hi.
Okay.
And we're live! Welcome to the podcast that will rule all beer podcasts until the end of time, because we are not caring about being professional. We're here to talk about the real issues, and that has to do with beer. Hi, we are the Crafty Boys. Julian is here. Locke is in the house. Dave is here as well, and he's over his cold, I hope. And Alan is down there with the studio audience.
Yeah.
Cheers, boys. Here's to getting vaccinated right in the ass.
Yes.
I'm pouring my beer because that's all I can do.
All right,
I'm
well, tell us about it,
I'm
Shane.
gonna start first. The beer that Julian and I are drinking is Superflux Coconuts. It is a local brewery here in Vancouver, and Alan made a very horrible yet agreeable prediction last week that his Superflux was almost as good, if not better, than Fat Tug. So there you go. Well done.
Yes.
By the way, Julian, before anyone else talks about the beer, tell me what you said about Superflux and Fat Tug earlier today.
Well, I had a long and satisfying relationship with Fat Tug that I've revealed to you all before.
Yes.
And we did have a breakup, and the cause of that breakup was Superflux Color and Shape. I met Color and Shape, and I felt that I had to move on. It was a new world out there. Fat Tug remains an important part of my life, and she will never go away. But Superflux Color and Shape, I had to go forward into the new realm. And Superflux remains one of my favorite breweries. However, pretty much, is not Color and Shape. And I can't tell you whether or not Coconuts is Color and Shape, but we're about to find out. I have not tried this before.
Okay.
Never tried it. This is the first.
All right. Well, let's get on it.
That's
Here we
looking
go.
like
This
a double
color
hazy
is
or something.
Very
That one.
unfiltered, and it smells like coconuts.
It does, doesn't it?
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Down the hatch.
Brother bought a coconut. He bought it for a dime. And sister had another one. She paid it for the lime.
I like it. It's a very subtle flavor, though.
But why do you like it?
Well, it's sweet on the top end, but that diminishes very quickly, and it has a very nice mouthfeel. Like it's everywhere right now, where it's not just really targeting a particular part of your mouth that really makes it unhappy. So you
Look, this is Superflux through and through, with a layer of coconut on top that is you can separate this coconut from the IPA underneath.
yeah.
And so if you hate coconut, then this beer is not for you, because the coconut is right there. But there's
But it goes away. It's
this-
silent. It's like, hi, and then it goes dormant.
So when you say that the
7%,
coconut
boys.
is right there, and so is the IPA. How would you describe the IPA? It's looking. If I know Superflux, I know that they're very into hop emulsification and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Is this
Oh, yeah.
your hazy kind of
Yes.
sweet tasting?
This is a New England IPA through and through,
Yeah.
with a layer of coconut on top.
Okay. All right. So it's like a pina colada, is what you're saying.
Actually,
it kind of is.
it is.
It
Ah,
kind
yeah,
of
you're right,
is.
you're right.
Interesting. Okay.
Ridiculous.
I'm gonna have to look
price.
for that one.
Please don't look at the price. It's
Price is
ridiculous.
disgusting.
That too is
Suck
Superflux.
So basically, what they say about the beer on their website is that Coconuts is an IPA with loads of freshly toasted coconut added. It is also a heavily dry hopped beer with Citra and Vic's Secret hops. We think it's a heavenly combination.
And I agree.
I'm on board with this. I'm actually very surprised. I'm not. I was not expecting that flavor at all. Like I was expecting a beer like flavor, and what I got was a coconut punch in the face with a follow up of an IPA
This is
that
crazy
made
good.
love to my palate.
That's crazy good. I'm telling you. I don't know what.
God damn it, Superflux! How dare you be good?
This. What? No, this is serious. This is serious.
Let's jump over to Dave now. Dave, I know that you're really hammering out the beers left, right, and center lately. So
yeah.
you want to really quickly just describe the beer that you're drinking tonight. We will be able to move on.
All right.
And
Here we
what?
go.
intergalactic root beer from
Ah,
Phillips. Tell us more.
Intergalactic time.
This is another one of the Phillips Soda Works.
Phillips soda specifically.
Yes, it's their root beer entry.
And
It's damn good. I'm really liking this and the ginger ale that they're doing.
nice.
Very good.
I think I mentioned they do another couple, at least another 2 flavors, like an orange cream.
So what I'd like to know about their root beer, to what extent is this a sparkling root beer, and to what extent is this a frothy root beer? Because if, for those in the know who like to drink a little bit of root beer, your A&W root beer was classically a frothy root beer, whereas your Barks, that's like a fizzy root beer. Yeah. What kind of root beer is this?
Yes.
Yes.
It's seriously, it's got a nice creamy frothiness to it, but it's also got a nice bite. So it just walks up to you and bam, and but it's got a nice creamy finish to it, kind of a thing. It's almost like there's some ginger thrown into it. It's got that kind of an edge to it. Yeah. Yeah,
Seriously, I've
little
had
bit
that as well, and I concur. It punches you in the face.
This is not something
If
that
you're
you slam.
expecting to have like A&W root beer or Hires root beer or something like that, no. This is like no root beer you have ever had before.
But do
Actually,
you like it, Alan?
No, I didn't like it. Actually,
Okay.
I didn't enjoy it at all.
All right.
how
I
would it be with
think it's a bit of an
double
acquired
shot of
taste, to be
vodka?
honest, because I wasn't sure about it when I first had it, but
Yeah.
I'm liking. It's good stuff. And I figured, you know what? If I can't do the fucking beer at the moment, at least I can pretend with Phillips. So there we are.
That is a very good choice to have made. Lock.
Okay.
What are you drinking?
So this evening I am drinking something that normally I would not drink, except that I do this show, and so I want to try stuff that that might be, interesting, discussion worthy, comment worthy, potential. Do I like this drink? Let me just make sure.
Somebody might have snuck into your house, changed out your beer, and you might not have noticed.
It's not bad. It's not terrible.
What is it?
It's making love in a canoe.
What's the name of it?
Water.
That's the name of it.
No, the name of it is Number 99. It's the
It's the Wayne Gretzky beer.
Wayne
yeah.
Gretzky craft brewery. Wayne Gretzky has tried his hand at a number of entrepreneurial things since his hockey career, and this is the latest of them, I gather. I think
You call it the Great One.
Yeah, I'm from Calgary. We used to call him the Whiner.
So jealous.
I don't know about jealous. We did beat them for the Stanley Cup one year, so not necessarily. Of course, in Edmonton, the joke is, how do they spell legacy in Calgary? ONE. Now, there are some interesting aspects to this in terms of the recipe. Okay, so there's rye in this. Its ingredients are water, malted barley, malted rye, hops, and yeast. Brewed in Niagara on the Lake in Ontario, which is a nice place to be at all times. I have nothing really in particular to say about this.
What is it described as? Is it an ale or is it a rye PA? What is it?
This is a craft rye lager.
It's a lager.
Yeah. A beer from the Great One. Canadian rye grains add an extra layer of depth, zest, and freshness to the smooth malt and light hopped flavor of a classic lager. Well, okay.
Is it noticeably different from any other mainstream lager?
Not really. It's fucking close to water.
What's the percentage of alcohol, please?
It's a solid 5, so it's at least it's not light beer.
So you would call it light beer though, because obviously you.
Yeah, no. You're right. Now that said, I would say that I can taste a little bit of the rye in there. It's not it's not enough to make it exciting, but it adds a little bit of roundness to what would otherwise be, your sort of your exactly bog standard,
Compare it to an ex-girlfriend.
This would never have been a girlfriend. This would be more like a girl that I hooked up with after a party, and never talked to again.
Right.
So did you give her your number?
I don't think so.
I got it.
So my question to you, Locke, is that Wayne Gretzky beer, is it independently brewed or is it through
No.
InBev or
Wayne Gretzky has entered the beer business. Every can proudly supports the Wayne Gretzky Foundation. All indications are that this is one of Wayne Gretzky's entrepreneurial ventures since his hockey career. He also has a line of shirts that you can purchase at the Bay.
And wine.
And wine, yes, indeed.
Okanagan wine.
and
Yeah.
a restaurant? Doesn't he have a restaurant in Toronto?
Yes, Wayne Gretzky's,
Yeah,
for lack of a better name.
That's a fitting name.
yeah.
I would hope it's his.
Look,
And
here's,
Locke, how much did it cost?
I when I was a little kid living in Victoria before I moved to Calgary, Wayne Gretzky was, of course, my hero. Like pretty much every other Canadian kid that grew up in the '80s. And why? Because he brought something to hockey that it was a little bit unique. He was a strategic player. He wasn't the biggest. He wasn't the toughest. He wasn't even the fastest. What he was smart. He could read what was going on in the game in a way that few other players could. I don't think it would have been possible without some of his sort of support from people like Tim Curry, right? But it was a new kind of hockey in a way, and I think he changed the game for the better.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. How much did it cost? Did you buy a 6-pack?
I bought 3 of them. They
Did you get them at
were
Brewers Retail?
$2.50 a piece.
Each beer.
Yeah. Tall boys. But
And at Brewers Retail? Or the beer store, or now it's called, I think?
no.
At the liquor store.
These were from the
BCLDB.
LCBO.
BCLDB, yeah.
All right.
Well, these are, by the way, these are $6 each.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Is
that including taxes and stuff?
Yes,
or-
I know. Yes.
Yeah. So the super flux that I had last week, which was a double,
pretty much,
IPA. Yeah, it was pretty much that.
But that's what it's called, pretty much, yeah, right?
No, I
What
can't
was it
remember
called?
what it was called. Like Voda Chrome or something. or-
Vodachrome.
That's the one.
Yeah, and it was super good. Probably the best beer I've ever had.
Exactly. That's Superflux for you. Did you?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Sacrilege.
Yeah, but it is. It seriously is.
But Alan,
so-
the more important question is, what are you drinking this evening?
All right, so I found this beer on the shelf at Cascadia here in Victoria, and I had to get it based on the name. It's called Sweet Baby Jesus.
Ooh.
Chocolate peanut butter porter. Whoa.
Yes, it is from Claw Brewing in Baltimore, Maryland. It comes in this little 12-ounce bottle. And that was like over $5.
Jesus, yeah, I'd say.
Yeah.
But from Maryland in a glass bottle, ridiculous. Is there any reason that you're going to support the second purchase of this beer? Would you buy another?
Well, let's go through that. So this is it here.
Oh.
Not much of a head to speak of. Now this one came very highly. What did I say? Something funny?
No.
On their website, they have a glittered sour ale. I don't know what that glittered part means. All brewed with fruity cereal and edible glitter, called Sour Me Unicorn Farts.
These guys are big on marketing. Is their beer any good?
That is
Yeah,
the
I think
name
so.
of the beer.
I think
They
so.
also have an oatmeal cream pie imperial honey wheat ale, the pastry arky, and a beer called It Was All a Dreamsicle. There you go. Wow.
Is it any good, Alan?
Okay,
Continue.
so I find it that it's comparable to the same kind of concoction from Bad Tattoo out of Penticton. But this one here has a little bit too much carbonation going on with it, which is unexpected for a porter.
It's too fizzy?
I'd say so. I'm it's not smooth. It's
a sparkling porter, you're saying?
in a way, yeah. There is carbonation in it. I would expect a bit of carbonation, but not as much as I'm getting with this
So
right here.
what type of beer is this again, please?
This is a
how
porter.
described? It's
a
a porter.
porter.
What alcohol percentage is it?
It is 6.2,
Oh, okay. That all right.
An
Okay.
international beer
which is
unit
actually
rating
quite a
of
lot
33.
for an American beer, I think.
And even Locke would consider that reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it says here a classic full-bodied robust porter with a smooth, dry finish and just enough hops to balance aromas and flavors of roasted malt, chocolate, and peanut butter so rich that just one sip and you will exclaim the name, as it says right there.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Amen to that.
I no, I would not get this again.
Right.
What if it was $1 a bottle?
If it was $1 a bottle, maybe.
So
Maybe.
how badly how badly are you influenced by the $5 a bottle price?
It's a big thing. Between this and basically the same product from Bad Tattoo, I'm buying the Bad Tattoo every day.
Mhm.
Okay, I just want to point out this brewery is now on my top 5 of breweries that like to make beer. So this is their regular. This is their Pilsner, regular beer, a beer that tastes like beer.
What is the
Yeah,
Play-Doh thing?
The Sweet Baby Jesus, which is the one you have in your hot little hands. I'm going to go back to their front part of their page just to show you that one beer that really kind of makes me want to get it. Sour Me Unicorn Farts. So this is a brewery that basically is the style of brewery that I'd like to make. Where you are making good beer, but you could give a crap about what the actual marketing is doing aside from being fun. So I want to find this beer. This beer needs to be located and we need to consume it.
Okay, but seriously, I have a question here. I've never seen this before. 14 Play-Doh. So on
Oh, this here?
yeah. So what is that?
I have no idea.
Like I've
In
never
order to
seen
drink
that.
it required 14 Play-Dohs?
Even I don't know.
Lock?
I don't know.
I'm a bit of a beer
This is
nerd.
the new one on me.
I'm going to ask the internet. A Play-Doh indicates the ratio of fermentable sugars to water in the beer. It is based on the specific gravity and density of the beer at any given time and is given in degrees. So apparently, that's what it is. Sugar, beer, drink it, and shut up. So there you go.
Well, look, I mean, the only thing, the thing is that no one on the West Coast uses that measurement.
No, we are far more refined.
I'm friends with several guys who've been involved in craft brewing since before any of you were born, and no one has ever said to me Plato. It's crazy.
And this beer is another beer we need to get. We need to find this one. Never Tell Me the Odds Double IPA. If we never drink this beer, I will die unfulfilled.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Well played. Well played. So there you go. Those are the beers we're drinking tonight, and we are sad to learn that there are beers we should be drinking tonight that we don't have.
But I think we've done quite well.
But we've done reasonably well.
You've done well.
This stuff is off the charts.
It's
I'm
off the
telling you.
charts.
I mean, it's crazy stuff. What is this? This is nothing like any traditional brewer has ever made or drank.
That beer goes to 11.
It does.
This one
go to
goes
11.
to 11.
But speaking of other things that go to 11, I would like to try this one. I don't know if it's going to be any good, but it's
You will never get it.
Brewing releasing the Secret Cellar Bourbon Barrel Aged Stout.
You'll never get it.
Sorry?
There's only 750 cans, and they sold
This is
out.
why I bring it
And
up.
they already
We
sold
need to
out by
go find this
pre-order.
beer. If we don't get this beer, we are.
You're not going to get this beer. It's already sold out.
But
I can get some.
Can
I'll
you?
tell you why. I had dinner yesterday with Jackson, who's the sales rep for Stanley Cart Brewing. I had dinner with him on Nelson Island. He brought a whole whack of Stanley Park beer. Now, what's this guy? I didn't see any of this in the stuff he brought. I guess
it is called the Secret Cellar Bourbon Barrel Aged Stout.
But I think I can message him, and if there's any to be had, at least on the company side, I think Jackson can get some for us.
Let us
Nice.
make that happen.
Cool.
I need enough lead time to mail some to Locke and Alan and those guys.
That may be
And those guys. Sorry, Dave, you
That-
didn't make the cut.
that may be a Canada Post issue.
There might be a Canada Post issue.
Well, I'm just saying, talking about mailing beer to Ontario. I mean, is that allowed under COVID rules?
I don't know. You will be the expert in this knowledge base of
I-
information.
I know nothing.
All I
I
know,
know nothing.
I know nothing. All I know is that I still have money on my Brewery Creek gift card.
Huzzah!
So there you go.
Mm.
Nice.
Which I got for doing an amazing job for a client. And I said, I like Brewery Creek. And they
Instead
said,
of money?
great. Hey, you got to take the work you can get during a pandemic. I mean, there you go. So what other things are going on in your lives, boys? Dave, I know you've not been feeling well, and we make fun of you about it, but that's okay because we love you. But you seem to be feeling better, is all I'm
Yeah, definitely.
So the COVID went well?
It did.
Which reminds me, Tuesday morning at 11:45 Pacific Standard or Pacific Daylight Time, I will be getting my first shot.
In the ass.
That's right.
Nice.
And then in the afternoon, I'll be getting my COVID vaccination. So, you know. It took them a while. It took them
I'd
at
buy
least
that
a
for
good
$1.
7 or 8 seconds. So how many here have been vaccinated?
Not yet. I'm
one
currently,
and that one.
I'm currently on a wait. I'm not on a wait list. I'm on
The wait list.
6 wait lists.
Hey, you can do that in Ontario.
Yeah.
There's no central site.
Well, it's like the rollout is. It seems to be pretty scattered. It seems like there's very little internal coherency in terms of how they're doing this.
Hey, Cameron, shut up.
So anyway,
So the really, that's how weird it is in Ontario.
yeah, right. So basically, when they started shipping out the AstraZeneca, their assumption was that nobody wanted it, and so they were going to have a ton of it that was just going to waste. So they tried to see who they could pawn it off on, and the simple fact of the matter is, everybody signed up because everybody wants to get
Why
vaccinated.
wouldn't you?
Because
Why wouldn't you?
because unlike certain God Squad types in other countries, Canadians are relatively sensible and want to see this thing dealt with. So as it turns out, Ontarians are very keen to get vaccinated with whatever vaccine is available. So that's why I'm in a wait list.
Even the suppositories, just go for it, right?
Well, I think. I mean, I'm biased because I live in BC, but I think the BC has done a reasonably okay job of dealing with it. I mean, the AstraZeneca stuff kind of threw everyone for a loop because early on it was being praised as being, a reasonable vaccine, and then the whole blood clotting thing started happening, and then they thought, well, if you want it, you can get it. So,
Here's the thing.
I mean, it's relatively safe, so go get it.
COVID do? It causes massive blood clotting, amongst other things, right? So
In a very rare and very specific kind of way, yes. And so does the Johnson and Johnson one.
No. I'm not talking about the vaccine. I'm talking about the virus.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the virus causes that like gangbusters.
Yeah.
If some small, tiny proportion of the population react to it in that way, that's
and from what I understand,
fact in my view of things. But
well, I mean that thing, you have to do what you got to do, and I think that certain people who got AstraZeneca are.
Obviously, the problem here is it's called AstraZeneca.
Exactly.
Well, sure, yeah. So it's poor marketing term. It's sort of like calling something sour unicorn farts or something. But but it's sort of like the people who had the extreme reaction to the vaccine. Do we not suppose that reaction might have been even worse if they caught the virus?
Yes, that's not the comparison to be made, though, is it? We're not comparing the vaccine to the virus. We're comparing the vaccine to other vaccines.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
But I'm glad that people that have had that particular vaccine got it, because they will have a reasonably acceptable level of protection against the getting ill from this particular virus. But I'm very excited that Alan's dog is probably about to pee on the floor. I'm not too sure, but he looks concerned.
No, I'm actually looking at my Sweet Baby Jesus bottle.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm trying to determine if this is a crack in the glass right here, or
really.
No, I think it's just glue from the label.
Oh, well, all right then. Because what you could do is you could take that bottle back and complain, but before you do that, throw a baby mouse in it and see what happens.
Yeah, well, that's fascinating.
Indeed. Now, Alan, are you suggesting at all that brew might be hallucinogenic?
Good point.
It's a well-founded.
You were looking at
maybe some of the unicorn farts found its way into this.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Dave, how are you feeling? You all right? If I say the words sibilance and unicorn penis, you're not affected at all?
There's swirly candy cane stuff going on around my head, but otherwise,
okay, so basically normal then.
It's right.
Yeah, so you're not affected. All right, well, hey, that works for me. Welcome to our podcast hell, boys and girls.
I think only your sister's watching anyway, so.
Oh, probably.
Is she there?
No, actually, no. I don't know who's watching.
Kristen.
It's kind of weird that the chat is completely dead, and I realize why is because Julian is standing right there.
That's true. He's here. He doesn't have to chat to us. He can just mouth off directly to our faces.
Good news. I'm going back to the island, and I'll be able to heckle you next week.
That is very true.
I have a very slow internet connection on the island, and all I can do is heckle you.
Yeah.
I would prefer that to nothing. But overall, I think that the beers that we've had this week are acceptable. They are highly rated.
Acceptable.
But here's the thing: is that I've now learned of a new brewery. With the brewery, the one in where is it? Sorry, in Delaware or whatever the hell.
They're in Baltimore.
In Baltimore. I would like to see more of their product. I think that their tongue-in-cheek approach appeals to my particular way of living or something. But overall, I don't know. It's really weird to see beer from the East Coast in a liquor store over here.
Yes.
So I'm curious to know more.
If I were going to make a comment, I'd say that the through line with all of the drinks we've had this evening actually is they're kind of heavy on the marketing, no?
Oh, totally.
We've got celebrity endorsement. We've got
Yeah.
a goofy name, you know, like religion and all that. We've got $6 a beer, regardless of how good it is. You know, $6 a beer. Part of the reason it has the air of value is because they've priced it at $6 and people will buy it, and so that's what it's worth, isn't it?
It's not that though. It's not that with Superflux. This guy, he is obsessed with making this kind of beer at the brewery. He and his partner.
That's a good place to make it.
They make it by themselves. It takes them forever. It's a pain in the ass to make. The hopping schedule is ridiculous. The amount of hops and when they do it and what kinds of hops they use and how often. It's limited batch stuff. There's no marketing here. Nobody knows about Superflux outside of the Lower Mainland. And even if they did, they couldn't get it anyway because he only makes a hectoliter at a time.
Yeah, but that's a type of marketing. Like I see strategy.
They don't have any marketing.
No, they do. They're playing the best card in the deck. What they're playing is theory of obscurity, which is to say that the harder it is to get this thing that you know that you want, the more attractive it becomes.
Yes, but Locke, the thing is, the markup's not that high. Their cost of production is ridiculous.
I know it's ridiculous, but that's part of it. And I'm not saying that the product isn't there. I'm not saying the product isn't fantastic. I'm not saying the product isn't detailed and wonderful and sophisticated. What I'm saying is, if they made that product and then tried to put it on the market for $3 a can, would it be as good? It's part of the fact because they're a little eccentric, because they do things differently, because they're interesting. You're interesting. No,
you heard the expression that amateurs create and professionals replicate, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah, sure.
In this case, this is an amateur-made beer.
Yeah, it's an amateur. Yeah.
It's small batch craft brewing. It's done. It's almost like he does it for his friends. When you see him make it, it's crazy. It's just silly. It's silly.
Do you know him personally?
We're not friends, but I've been with him at craft brew gatherings locally.
How clever they've been about how they release the product to the market. No.
For years and years, Superflux didn't even have a brewery.
And I don't think you're wrong. I think you are an initiate, and I think what they're doing is spectacular in that respect. This is what marketing should be. It should be about giving an opportunity to create better products because you're speaking to the initiate, because you're developing a community of people that care, right? And that is the best kind of marketing.
Alan, who are you texting?
Nothing. I was scraping the glue off.
You looked like as Alan as Locke was talking, you were like looking very intently off the screen. Like the pearls of wisdom.
I'm really bothered by this glue. I'm really bothered by the glue for some reason.
In any event,
put this away.
In any event, you cannot tell me that Superflux do not have thoughtful, interesting, exciting art on their cans.
Yes, they do, but they stick the same guy that makes the beer sticks the labels on the can as they.
I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. Look,
no, but I just mean there's no opportunity.
When I say there's marketing involved, that's not me saying that there's something wrong with it. That's me. I believe in marketing done sophisticatedly. It's good. Yeah, like anything, you can do something well, you can do something badly. Probably the cheapest shot out there in terms of marketing is the celebrity endorsement, a la what I'm drinking this evening. Why the beverage itself is sparklingly average. What Dave's drinking this evening, root beer, yes. The art, Phillips always pays attention to the
They've
style
always done that.
presentation. And I think that pays dividends. I think it makes it fun to drink. Does it not?
Well, it does. There's no doubt about it, and Shane has nodded his attention to that by liking the Unicorn Sour Farts beer, which may or may not be the label, but it's on the label. And so, personally, I say the proof of the pudding is in the eating, so to speak. And I also suggest that for a company like Superflex, it's a different thing because they're not trying to sell more beer because they don't have the capacity anyway. It's silly. It's almost like they're just making it for their friends, because there's no. It's not like they can suddenly expand and sell more. He's
Julian,
been doing this for 25 years.
you charge your friends $6 a can for your homebrew.
Oh yeah, that reminds me.
But their economies
Here.
of scale are so small that they're not. It's not like they're not making it for 50 cents a pint. Trust me on this.
No. And I'm not suggesting for a moment that they are. I'm not saying that this is some empty shell. What I'm saying is marketing, when applied to a quality product, makes everything better. And when I say marketing,
and the proof of the pudding, is McDonald's. Look at McDonald's. How much money does McDonald's make every year? And is it good food? No, I don't think there's anybody out there in the world that would argue that McDonald's is good food.
So you don't like chicken McNuggets?
No.
Look, and by the way, if we're gonna go off on a tangent here, where does McDonald's make its money? Does it make it from selling food?
no, it makes it in real estate, doesn't it?
It's a real estate company.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
But never mind that. Look here, the point is on my head on this one, for sure. Superflex beer is made by one guy in East Van. They don't even have enough tanks to expand. It's crazy.
So what you're saying is the fact that part of the story is that he's in an underdog position makes him seem more like a hero.
No, all I'm saying is here's a guy who likes to make good beer and isn't interested in marketing it exactly. It's not trying to expand. There's no capitalism here beyond making a living. It's like a guy. He's like
And look,
Did I just hear Julian say that there was something wrong with capitalism? Because normally, normally
I can't handle this. Capitalism.
normally Julian takes the stance that he's
no. I don't think he's saying that. I think what he's saying, and I agree to an extent, like say the Vodachrome that I had last week from Superflex was probably one of the best beers I have ever had. And I paid, with taxes and everything, probably about $6 for a tall can. I would have that beer is good enough quality to charge probably $8 to $10 for that can, but I didn't pay that. I paid for something plus tax. I mean, that is unreal for that beer. That beer should be charged a lot more than what it is. And I think that's what Julian is trying to say. This guy's not trying to get rich off of this.
And he's not.
and in point of fact, regardless of whether he is or isn't, I approve. I think Superflex is fantastic. I've had their product. It's great. It is truly an art form. Like when the brewing becomes something more than just getting shit faced. Like it's all about the attention to detail. And I guess what I'm suggesting is that I see an attention to detail that goes beyond just the beverage itself. That attention to detail goes to, this isn't for everyone. I'm not trying to become the next Budweiser. I want this to be special. And has he achieved that? I think he has. To me, that's marketing success.
Okay. Here's the difference between, let's say, I'm not sure of the beers that we had tonight, but speaking generally, right? When it comes to the difference between local craft brewing and large scale industrial brewing, the competition between industrial brewers is to see who can make the most money. The competition between craft beers is to see who can make the best beer. Those are different things.
Yeah.
And Superflux isn't trying to make the most money.
Yeah. Sure.
It's trying to make the best beer.
Sure.
And on the marketing point, Superflux doesn't have any marketing. It's all well, they do. They post on their Facebook page and Instagram when they have a new batch available, and then people run down there and buy some. That's it.
Which is to say that they're sophisticated about it, because they know what they're trying to do. They're not doing something inappropriate or irrelevant or out of context to put their beer in the hands of the people who should be drinking.
Agreed. And by the way, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with trying to make the most money by upscaling to the Heinekens and the Budweiser of this world and trying to make a nickel off each beer and send it all over the world. There's nothing wrong with that either. I'm just saying it's a different business attitude and perspective. Different thing.
Sure.
A lot of people in the craft brewing industry are not interested in Well, they got into the business to rebel against industrial brewing.
Absolutely.
That was the whole point of it. And that's why we have craft brewing today, in fact, is to rebel against the mega tanks and the adjunct brews of the Budweisers and the Heinekens of this world.
Sure.
Was that a rant?
I think it was. Well, and case in point is the guys from Steam Whistle in Toronto, where they were guys that worked at big breweries, and they ended up getting laid off. So they created their own brewery, which ended up being Steam Whistle, and they vowed to not become what their previous employers did become.
Mm-hmm. That was true of Sierra Nevada, of many other West Coast startups as well. And then after 25 years of doing that, they finally realized that they had to sell out, and they sold to the big guys and retired happily ever after. And you have to do that. You can't blame them for that. I'm not criticizing. They were true to their roots, but sooner or later, you can only spend so much time in rubber boots in a brewery when you've done it for 25 years, when you originally got together with your university buddies to start a craft brewery to rebel against the big guys. There comes a certain point in time where you say, we got to move on. And when Budweiser comes calling and says, we won't change the way you brew. We want to give you all this money. And we just want to carry on with your brand and include it in our national distribution network as well. That's hard to resist when you've been doing it since you were 18 and you're 45 now, right? Yeah. Especially when they want to pay $1 billion for your brewery.
That's what happened with Granville Island.
That's what happened with Green. That's what happened with Goose Island. That's what happened with Elysian in Seattle, which was a big thing in the brewing industry.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's the way it is, right? That's the way it is. People are at stages in life. Superflux hasn't done that, but you know what? If he keeps on making beer like this, the big boys will come calling at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't they?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's sort of like have you ever had the experience of being, into a local band that, were sort of they were kind of the local secret, right? And you felt a little bit like a Freemason going to their concerts. You know what I mean? Like it was like, this is only for those who know, right? And then suddenly they get their record deal, and everybody knows about them, and you're hearing people who you think are boneheads say to you, "Oh well, have you heard the new whatever it was?" And it hurts a little bit, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. Here we are now, entertainers, not just stupid. Yeah.
That's what it's like for us with our fans, I bet. I mean, there's Kristen that that followed us from the beginning, but now we're like huge mega stars, like I get chased by like young women all up and down the streets.
Yes, of course you do.
Usually because I owe them money for something, but sometimes it's because of this, right?
Maybe we should send a link to Piper. Maybe she'll do a guest cameo. Can we get a Piper shot?
Yeah, well, we most certainly can.
Thank you very much.
Inform the people watching who we're talking about.
Piper. We're talking about Piper, who has a $5 million apartment in Montreal and may or may not have included, recent videos that allow her to have a different level of video from YouTube for those of her fans. But look, isn't that the Piper we want to talk to right there, though? Isn't it? I mean,
Look at her $5 million apartment.
isn't that Piper?
Come on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How could you not want to talk to her? I'm just saying.
Oh, those Montreal girls.
Oh, she's special.
All right.
And Canadian.
Here we are now. Entertain us.
Canadian anthem.
It's a very good anthem. On that note,
It's over. It's bloody over.
we've been streaming for about 45 minutes.
Oh.
So I want to thank those who stuck it out with us, people watching. Don't
Bye,
forget,
Kristen.
we are on Twitter. We are on the Instagram, sort of. But we also have a website and this channel here. Wherever you found us, we'll be back next week to talk about whatever the hell beer we find in this darn pandemic. Julian will, of course, be in the middle of the sticks, so he'll be on the chat talking to people, hopefully. And, of course, us three, or us four. Oh, my, I can't count. Counting is hard!
There may be a way. My neighbor has signed up for the Elon Musk Starlink.
Oh, the Starlink stuff, yeah.
He's on the wait list. It's $129 a month, and you have to give him the money up front, and he decides when you will or will not be
I have a
connected.
client who is using it in Toronto, in
Yeah.
the sticks of Toronto.
Apparently,
and
it's quick.
when it works, it's great. When it dies hard.
Yeah, my first girlfriend was like that.
I don't know how to recover from that. So, Alan, as always, please take us out.